I can shoot a video of and show you how white people are walking freely out here.
I would like to see that video. Wouldn't you guys?
Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Prison Call the Live. We are back again.
Prison Call Live. Real good channel, man. Real awesome.
We are back again. Hope you guys are good. Somebody asked me when I was gonna make these sort of videos again, you know, where you guys could see my face. But I told them when I'm feeling a little better, I'm gonna make that video for you guys. But I must admit, man, I really enjoy making these faceless videos because it enables me to focus more on the topic, you know, than focusing on the camera, you know. But
True, I get that.
Anyway, man, I was watching this whole Trump thing with the president of South Africa, you know, Cyril Ramaphosa, if you guys don't know him. And
no, I don't know anything about South Africa, but I'm interested to learn.
Somebody wanted me to make a video about that, you know. I don't remember what he specifically said, but I watched that thing and the whole time I was thinking, I was like, why is the US so concerned about what South Africa is doing? You know.
No clue.
I mean, if we're gonna talk about genocide and that white people are being genocided here in South Africa, that's a lie. That's a lie.
I believe that's a lie as well.
Because I mostly live in a white neighborhood, you know, it's mostly white. I see white people all the time. Nobody's coming after them, you know. And if you want to talk about crime that's targeted towards white people, that's also a lie. Most black people are actually victims of crime, you know. If you want to talk about the crime that happens in farms, because most white people own farms. Now, why do most white people own farms? Why do most white people own farms? It's because white people took the land from black people when they came here.
Yeah, I get that. True.
It's really easy, man. So when crime happens, especially in farms, it happens because, well, farms are rural areas. It's basically empty. You know, if you do a crime there are less chances of you getting caught, especially with the weak police enforcement that we have here in South Africa. So, you know, white people in South Africa, you know, not all white people are the same, you know. We don't have to say that all white people are racist and stuff like that, you know. Those are just stereotypes, but
True, stereotypes are everywhere.
typically most white people in South Africa, especially wealthy white people in South Africa, they know that they got their wealth by benefiting from apartheid. They know that. So they typically live in fear that black people might, you know, do what they did to them during the 1940s throughout to the 1990s.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be afraid of getting destroyed?
You know, so they obviously going to perpetuate this narrative that, oh, white people are being targeted in farms, white people are being killed, when it's really a crime problem. Crime affects everybody in South Africa. Why? Because of inequality. You know, so we wouldn't have this problem if if the old regime of apartheid treated everybody.
Oh yeah. Gotta top up that flow, man. Flow.
Equally. You know, we wouldn't have this problem with inequality. And inequality results in poverty. And if you're poor, you're going to be tempted to steal. So this results in most black people being poor, you know.
Yeah, that's here as well. Gotta rob somebody to get something, right?
Because they're the ones who were previously marginalized, they're the ones who were previously discriminated against, so obviously they're going to be the ones who cause a lot of crime. And nobody talks about that. Most of the crime that's being done, this ruthless murders on the farms, it's typically done by illegal immigrants, because they're the ones
Illegal immigrants? Really? Interesting.
working on farms.
Oh, so they're the ones working for the owners. So I'm guessing, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah.
This is typically not a video I would make for the channel, but I just thought like maybe I should voice out my thoughts on this, because this is stupid. I'm watching the whole thing and we have a spineless president who's not really accurately explaining the situation. That no, there's no genocide happening, based on factors like this and this and this and this and this.
Man, if genocide was happening, yo, that would be all over the news. You'd see that everywhere. And America would probably get involved and destroy whoever is doing the genocide.
Wealthy white farmers will say there's a genocide because they're scared that black people might retaliate. But black people haven't retaliated. If they wanted to retaliate, that would have long happened. People are moving on, actually. Black South Africans, they're moving on, actually. So Cyril Ramaphosa, man, he just wants, he doesn't care.
What was that name?
He's a spineless president who doesn't care about this country. That's really what it is. So he's not going to...
Does any president care about any country? I mean...
to accurately explain the situation, because he doesn't want to offend his handlers. Because that guy is definitely owned by people, and he was put in place to destroy this country and put it exactly where it is. For reasons I'm not gonna mention, because I don't want to mention those reasons. But he was brought here to...
Yeah, you better keep that to yourself, bro. Better keep that to yourself.
To bring this country on its knees. Everybody thought, oh, we have a billionaire of a president. Oh, he's not gonna steal the money. He's not gonna steal the state funds. Because typically all the presidents have a history of corruption.
Exactly. All presidents, not just South Africa.
Mostly, since Jacob Zuma. But you get the point, man. So I don't understand why this guy... Well, I do understand, but it's insane, man. Like, just speak the truth for once. Explain what's happening accurately to Donald Trump. And let me tell you why the US is so invested into what South Africa is doing and what's happening. They'll say,
yeah, man, tell us.
all the terrible things happening in South Africa, bad things are happening there. We all know Elon Musk has been good friends with Donald Trump lately. So what's happening there? Elon Musk has an interest in South Africa, and he's using Donald Trump to go after those interests that he has.
Okay. Elon Musk, Donald Trump. Makes some sense. It does make sense, yeah.
He has a target on South Africa, and he's using Donald Trump to go after. By using this thing that, oh, there's a genocide happening. Do you know a genocide, a real genocide? Go to Palestine. That's a real genocide that's happening there.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures and the videos on Twitter. It's pretty messed up, man.
But no. Nobody wants to talk about that, That's a real genocide that's happening there. But, oh, we mustn't talk about that. So it's really sad, man. It's really sad, because you realize that all of these people have their own little agendas that they want to fulfill by acting like they're going to solve a problem that's happening. But no, it's a means to something else. It's a means for control. You know, the US wants to control South Africa because it is scared that South Africa is aligning up with China, Russia, Iran, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that.
Saudi Arabia. That's really it. So the US doesn't want the country with the most natural resources to align with countries like Russia, you know, countries like China. Because all of those nations, they're powerful in their own right. And you get a country like South Africa that has money, you know, in terms of resources, I would be scared too. I would be scared. I would go after South Africa and say, stop this genocide thing that you're doing, you know, as a means to control them. I would also threaten to sanction them. I would also threaten to cut off the US aid that's coming here.
Cut off the US aid? Not a chance, buddy. Not a chance.
You know, I agree with them cutting it off because, again, this is a corrupt government, man. Cyril Ramaphosa's administration has been the worst administration ever. I would say, well, besides apartheid, but ever since this democracy thing, it has been the worst. People are poorer than ever. You know, people are suffering.
Democracy? Well, I don't really know anything about South Africa, so I can't really say much.
And he's not doing anything. He's not, so many issues happening in this country, and he's not doing anything. He's freaking spineless. So, oh man, you know, so it's just a means for power. Everybody has their own little agendas. Ramaphosa knows why he's not doing anything to help the country. He knows who he's working for. He knows who he's funded by. He's always been funded. Remember, this guy was supposed to be the deputy president of Nelson Mandela, but for some reasons, it didn't happen. You know, he was...
Nelson Mandela, guy that went to jail for reasons.
He's gonna be put in this position for the people that he works for, you know, the elites, the true elites that nobody knows of, you know, from South Africa.
The elites, always the elites. We love the elites.
So Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they know what they want to do with South Africa. So that's why they're using this whole narrative of farm murders, you know, genocide, white people are being genocided. There's no such thing happening, man. I can shoot a video of and show you how white people are walking freely out here.
I would like to see that video. Wouldn't you guys?
You can come down to South Africa. There's no such thing happening. But if there's a crime happening on a farm, typically it's not because you're being genocided. No, it's because it's a crime problem. Somebody wants to break in, steal stuff. You know, we talk about the tortures that happen in the farms because you're being killed by illegal immigrants. That's how they kill those people. A black South African, no, they typically just want to steal your phone, and that's
Phone, really just a phone? Come on.
And that's it. They won't be torturing you and all of that stuff. But anyway, man, this is Dead MF, and those are my thoughts about the whole Trump situation and everything. This is Dead MF, and I'm signing out.
What does your video sound like? Go to
AI
and get the
AI videos. Yeah. Well, that was a good video. See, I'm subscribed to this guy. You all should subscribe as well. He's really cool and he talks about real stuff. But if you have a faint heart, don't do it. Like and peace.